All right. All right. So, good evening, everyone. I am so excited to see everyone, even though I can't see everybody's face. But we can see everyone. If you are on the panel, if you would please make sure that your cameras are on so that our participants will be able to see you. And welcome. We are so excited to have you back for the FY22 school year. I would like to, if I can, I would love to present our panelists. We have myself, Charcia Nichols, head of schools, Dr. Francis Mack, who is our new academy leader for grades 5 through 8, Mrs. Meredith, who is our academy leader for grades K4, Mr. Derek Bolton, who is our director of operations. We have Nurse Sharit, who is our nurse for health services for the school. Mrs. Paula Harris Harvey, she is our director of scholar services. And I think I have about 4 of Miss Harris Harvey's on here. I think the names probably need to change. We also have Miss Bridget Davis, who is our MTSS specialist. We also have Miss Glennis Terrell, who is our ESOL teacher. And we have Miss Logan DeYarman, who is our gifted coordinator, and Mrs. Hassan, who is our parent and family engagement specialist. So, welcome to everyone. I think we have a number of Miss Harris Harvey's on here, so we probably need to fix that with the names. But we'll go ahead and get started. Tonight, our Parent Academy is designed to welcome you as well as equip you with information needed to support your scholars throughout the school year. Our hope from this Parent Academy is that you will walk away with information about the year or knowledge of where you need to go to get the information to have a successful school year. So I'd like to first go over with you the history of Ivy. Here at Kirkwood, this school was actually founded, it started in 2011. And I want to pick up from 2015, where the Honorable Alicia Thomas Morgan became the new executive director, and the boys' school and the high school actually closed due to low enrollment. That was in 2015. A new principal, myself, was hired for the Kirkwood Girls School in 2016. In the summer of 2018, the governing board actually selected a new leader for IPA, which was me, and they actually changed the organization structure. In fall of 2018, our Ivy Gwinnett closed, and it was due to low enrollment, and Ivy Kirkwood is now the only school from the network of Ivy academies, and we actually serve 510 scholars in grades K-8. Actually, that was just switched, so I apologize. But there were actually 4 schools at Ivy, so just know that it was the Ivy Gwinnett, which was actually founded in 2008, and it actually opened its doors with 6th graders. So as of right now, we only have one Ivy prep, and that's the one here at Kirkwood. And I must say, by far, this is the best one yet as well. So just a little bit of information for you. Our core values are sisterhood, scholarship, and service. You'll learn a lot about that. You'll see that sisterhood is number 1 as one of our values, because we want our scholars to know and believe that they are sisters here in the school. Scholarship is second, because we want to make sure that our scholars acknowledge that academics is definitely the road that we want them to take, as well as being community servants. We find that service is very important, giving back and being They're for the people in your community. Is something that we value. Our beliefs are commitment to excellence, trust and honest communication, transparency and accountability, scholarship and talents, willingness and responsibility, safe, nurturing, and respectful environment, and many voices supporting one district. Our vision, Ivy Preparatory Academy, cultivates leaders who manifest change in the world. And our mission is that Ivy Preparatory Academy fosters a culture of collaboration, passion for learning, integrity, and servant leadership. And again, our values, and you'll also hear our tagline often, that we are scholars today, but sisters forever. So we are the first charter school in the state of Georgia, first single gender charter school. And we educate scholars from DeKalb County and Atlanta Public Schools. We are nationally accredited through Cognia. So those who know that we were going through our accreditation, we are finally accredited. And this is a national accreditation agency, and it is a very rigorous process. I will say that we actually surpassed the average of all schools in this process. So we are one of 13 state charter schools that is now accredited through this organization. That's a clap and a cheer. Hopefully people are giving us shine for that. So I do want to make sure that I introduce these two fabulous leaders. We have Mrs. Meredith, our Academy leader, and Dr. Mack, who is new to us. However, she is not new to this role of administration and being a leader as well. So I also will give them the opportunity to introduce their staff members, and we'll start with Mrs. Meredith.
Good evening, parents, and welcome. Happy New Year. All of those salutations. We are so glad to welcome our scholars back in person this school year. Can't wait to see their smiling faces and just share hugs with them on the first day of school. I will begin with my kindergarten family. We have Mrs. Annette Jordan, Mrs. Corinthian Fullmore, and Mrs. Shayla Cruz. Now, our kindergarten family is quite large. We have two more members, and that's Miss Kesmet Eason and Miss Alexis Gusta. So Miss Gusta and Miss Eason serve as our instructional support to our kindergarten team. So they will actually just rotate from every classroom, those three teachers that you saw on the previous slide. And our first grade family, we have to my far left, Miss Hendricks. In the middle, Miss Keisha Murphy. And to my far right, Mrs. Abigail Bonds. And my second grade family, we have to my far left, Miss Lakeisha Hoolan. And to my far right, Mrs. Tamika Edwards. And for our third grade family, they like to be called third and thorough. We have Miss Michelle Ross, Miss Amanda Harris, Miss Kenya Ayers. And for fourth grade, Miss Denise Moore, Miss Tanya Barr, and Miss Sharita Smetley. And our fifth grade family is Miss Donna Bryant. All right, Dr. Mack.
So, good evening, parents and Ivy family. So great to be here. So I want to introduce to you some more family members up as a part of our Ivy team. We have our instructional support family. We have Miss Hardy, which is EIP Math in K5, and Miss Kristen McNeil, our instructional coach, K8. We have our Essential Skills family, Miss Paula Harris Harvey, which is our Director of Scholar Services, Mrs. Bridget Davis, which is our MTSS Assessment Coordinator, and Ms. Logan DeArmond, who's our gifted coordinator. We also have Ms. Janae Clark, which is our K-8 ELA co-teacher, Mr. Kevin Hart, our K-8 math co-teacher, Ms. Portia Martin, our elementary resource support, and Ms. Justina James, our K-8 resource teacher. We also have Ms. Gabrielle McCoy, our essential skills team paraprofessional, Ms. Tina Rucker, our essential teams paraprofessional, and Ms. Glennis Terrell, our ESOL teacher and 504 coordinator. All right, now rounding out our wonderful Ivy family, we're going to talk a little bit about our upper academy. And so we have in 6th grade, Ms. Dones Coleman in science and Ms. T. Williams in ELA. In 7th grade, we have Ms. Ross in social studies, Ms. Herbert in mathematics, Ms. B. Smith in science, and Mr. Henry V. in ELA. In 8th grade, we have Ms. Hammond in ELA, Ms. Silver in mathematics, Ms. Ross again in social studies, and Ms. Smith in science. And then we have our wonderful Connections family. We have Ms. Cynthia Williams in theater, Ms. Tiffany Jones in engineering and computer science, and Ms. Andrea Martin in physical and health education. Senora Stephanie Jordan in Spanish, Ms. Nicole Campbell in visual arts, and Ms. Erin Mills in dance. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the academics here at Ivy. So go ahead, Ms. Merritt.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So each year, our school sets forth 2 academic goals that are aligned to ELA and math. And we also have 2 goals that are aligned to attendance, as well as parent and family engagement. And so our 2 academic goals for this school year, by the spring of 2022, that's by May of next school year, we want to increase the number of scholars in Tier 1 by 20% on iReady in reading, with a strong emphasis on comprehension and fluency. And so with the iReady, that is a diagnostic assessment that our scholars take each year in grades K through 8. With the diagnostic, we look at their assessment scores, and pretty much they're assessed 3 times a year, and that drives the teacher's instruction. And looking at our goal with Tier 1, we want to ensure our scholars, Tier 1 means they have to be at or above grade level performance on their diagnostic. So that's where we want our scholars to be, at least in Tier 1. We want everyone at or above grade level by the spring of 2022. And then our second goal is centered around math. We want to increase that number as well by 20% of the scholars performing in Tier 1 by May of 2022.
So our daily schedule is centered around making sure that our scholars have plenty of time for academics, as well as supporting the whole girl. So this year we have added a 30-minute intervention block during the instructional day for reading and math. So there's 2 30-minute intervention blocks in grades K through 8. So all of the grade levels will have some additional intervention to support scholars in any of their math and ELA instructional needs. Our Connections classes, technology, theater, art, dance, Spanish, physical education, and health, will also support our scholars with Sister Circle, which is a part of our SEL curriculum, and making sure that we're focusing on not just academics, but supporting our scholars in all of their needs. Our core content is centered around math, English, language arts, science, and social studies. And we also have a STREAM curriculum that we focus on being able to focus on problem solving, engineering, technology, as well as the arts.
As you know, we have a strong culture here at Ivy, and part of our culture are uniforms. So our scholars are required to wear uniforms daily. And so what you see is our daily outline Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Monday or the first day of the week, so if the first day of the week is Labor Day or a holiday, then we consider Tuesday as the return date for our scholars. And they come in their professional attire. Now, it does vary based on our lower academy and our upper academy, but we will provide you with a one-pager that outlines what the professional attire is for our lower academy and our upper academy. On Tuesday through Thursday, this is consistent amongst kindergarten through 8th grade. Our scholars wear a green or pink polo with the Ivy Prep logo, khaki bottoms, which consist of skirts or pants, solid black or white shoes. And then on Friday, we like to pull in that Ivy spirit wear. And that is just pretty much a shirt that has some type of Ivy insignia on it, or Ivy spirit, something that the scholars can purchase at school or they've had in the prior years if they are a returning scholar. They also can wear college paraphernalia. So scholars can come in their college sweatshirts or college t-shirts, and they are allowed to wear jeans, but we do have some restrictions on those jeans, and that's also outlined on the one-pager for the uniforms. Keep in mind that we know that face masks, of course, are a part of the uniform and not face shields. So the ones that come all the way below the chin and cover up the scholar's neck, those are not a part of the scholar's uniform. Only the face mask, which covers their mouth and their nose.
Scholars will are to wear white polos or in khaki pants for the first month of school up until September 7th. Starting September 7th, scholars should be in their Ivy Prep uniforms. So we're going to talk a little bit about grading. So K through 2 are standards-based grading. So they use measures of progress aligned with their standards, 1, 2, 3, or 4, letting you know how the students are progressing towards mastery of the standards. And then in grades 3 through 8, they begin using a numerical scale, which is 90 to 100 equals A, 80 to 89 B, 70 to 79 C, and 0 to 69 F. So we do not give Ds at Ivy Prep Academy.
And so we do have scholar lockers, and they are available for rent at $7, and they are only for our scholars in grades 5 through 8. And Dr. Mack, along with Ms. Jackson in our main office, has created a schedule for our scholars to follow, which fits in the regular Bell schedule in between their core content and connections classes.
So some of our school-wide initiatives we focus here at Ivy Prep Academy on the whole girl, which means that we're not just focusing on academics, like I said earlier, but also on the social and emotional development of our scholars, as well as leadership skills. We have STREAM curriculum, where our students are focused on science, technology, reading, engineering, the arts, and math. And we also have a program called Project Lead the Way, where our scholars are learning how to build small computers in 5th grade. We have a school-wide daily intervention block that we talked about earlier, where they will receive 30 minutes of additional intervention instruction in reading and 30 minutes in ELA and 30 minutes in mathematics. And then we have a schedule that increases not just the rigor of instruction, but our focus on our scholars' needs.
And I would like to add too, Dr. Mack, that we are offering engineering and robotics this year. So with our coding class, Ms. Jones will also be teaching engineering and robotics. So our scholars will have the opportunity to actually engage in those activities. I see a number of hands raised. If you could chat in the question and answer, if you could write your questions in there, please do, and we have someone that is answering the questions for us. Thank you.
And so I know you all are excited to meet your scholars, teachers, the moment you have all been waiting for. I know the scholars are excited to meet their teachers. So this year, in the past or previous years, we've called it a meet and greet. And this year it is actually called a family reunion because we've been away from each other so long. And so we're just excited to have everybody back again and meet our new and returning scholars and families. This will take place on Saturday, August the 7th, between the hours of 10 a.m. to noon. Please keep in mind, scholars' temperatures will be taken before they enter the building. Masks are required for all people in attendance. So that is, if you are the age of 3 and up, the person must have on a mask if they are attending our family reunion. With the temperatures being taken, if you have 100 degrees temp, then you will not be allowed in the building. We will respectfully turn you away. So just keep in mind, don't come if you're sick or you're experiencing any symptoms that day, okay? And our tour schedule is located at the bottom. So for our kindergarten through second grade, the tour, that means where you'll go in and meet your scholars teachers. It will take place between 10 o'clock to 10:40, just within that 40-minute block, because we want to ensure that we keep the flow of traffic moving in and out of the building, because everybody wants to meet their scholars teacher. Now, this won't be a time to hold that 20, 30-minute conference because we want to ensure that everybody gets in and they get out on time. If your scholar is in grades 3 through 5, your time slot is 10:45 a.m. to 11:25 a.m. And then for our upper academy, 6th through 8th grade, your time slot is 11:30 to 12. Now, there is a caveat. No tours will be given after 12 o'clock p.m. So don't get here at 11:59, say I'm ready for the tour, because we know that the tour is going to take longer than 1 minute, or, at least you want to spend at least 20 minutes with your child's teacher, okay? All right, thank you.
Ms. Harris Harvey.
Good afternoon, Ivy family. So I'm just going to talk just briefly about Scholar Services. Scholar Services is our essential skills team department, which is designed to help all scholars that need any type of academic assistance. We're here to support them and give them the accommodations that they need. So I just want to talk briefly about the different programs. I also have my program coordinators on the call with us, and they may want to say just a word or two. But first I want to talk about IEP. So if your scholar has an IEP, meaning that at their previous school, they were served under special education and there was an individualized plan developed for them, then definitely I'm gonna put my email address in the chat so that you can give me an email and let me know that your scholar does have an IEP. It's important also, when you fill out your admissions form, that you notate any type of accommodation or any type of special services that your scholar was getting at their previous school. Make sure that it's notated on that form. If it's not notated on that form, you can go ahead and contact the admissions office and let them know that you want to add that, because that's one of the things that we look at just to make sure we are servicing your baby. You know, we don't want to get into the first, second, third month of school, and then we find out, oh my goodness, this baby has an IEP, and we just had no way of, you know, knowing. So if you know this, please, please, please shoot me an email, as well as give admissions a call so that you can add these special programs on the admission form. If your baby has an IEP, she would definitely get a case manager assigned to you, and your case manager will be in contact with you sometime next week. All right, so if your scholar has a 504 plan, and meaning that they receive 504 accommodations, definitely give me a call. You know, let's not, you know, wait till we get good into school and then we realize, oh, my baby was diagnosed with a disability and she does have an accommodation. We want to make sure we give them the accommodations we need, because we're going to hit the ball rolling with you know, work, and we want to make sure that they have everything they're supposed to have. I do have my 504 coordinator on the call as well, Ms. Glennis Terrell. So if you have a question, you can also put your question in the Q&A as well. The gifted program, our gifted coordinator is also on the line. That's another very important thing for us to know, because we will be servicing our gifted scholars in a couple different ways. Our coordinator will be pulling the scholars to do project-based activities with them once a week. And then she will also be collaborating with their teachers and pushing into the classroom, supporting them as well. So we want to make sure that they are in a program that get everything they need at the start. Our gifted coordinator is on the call. Ms. DeYarman, would you like to say anything about the program?
Hello, Ivy family. I'm super excited to be on board this year with you and with all of our scholars. Just echoing kind of what Ms. Harris-Harvey has said before. So if your student was found eligible and received services either from a prior school or from Ivy Prep previously, then I will be seeing them once a week in a pull-out fashion. And I will be working with all of the teachers in the building to make sure that all of our high achieving students are getting the rigor that Ivy Prep has essentially promised our scholars, to make sure that we are a preparatory academy and we are preparing them for higher education. So I will stick my email again as the gifted coordinator in the chat box. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and hit the Q&A box. And if anything else, just go ahead and feel free to reach out to me.
All right, thank you. Also, we have our ESOL department, and our ESOL department serves our scholars that speak English as a second language, or English as a second language is spoken second in their home. So if your scholar fit this criteria and they were receiving services at a prior school, definitely let us know. And as well as if you think your scholar, you know, fits this category, definitely you can still, my email is in the chat right now, phharvey@ivyprepacademy.org. We will get them screened to make sure that they get the services they need. I also have our ESOL coordinator, as well as she's a 504 coordinator on the call. Ms. Terrell, did you want to say something quickly about the ESOL department?
Good evening, parents. As Ms. Harris-Harvey has already said, I work with students whose first language is not English, and they receive services inside of their classroom. Again, if you think that your child needs the services, but they have to speak a second language, and this has to be the language that is spoken most often at home. You can reach me through Miss Harris Harvey, and she will let me know if anyone has any questions or if there are some students that may need to be tested. As far as 504, I encourage you, if your scholar has a health issue and you have documentation from the doctor, that you submit that, but also contact Ms. Harris Harvey and she will be in touch with me on that. I wish you all a very good year.
Thank you, Ms. Terrell. And lastly, but definitely not least, our MTSS, which is our multi-tiered system of support. And the reason why it's called multi-tiered, because it's really the biggest component of Scholar Services. Our MTSS department, we're that intervention, we're that closing the gap piece that serve all scholars in the building. So we serve all scholars. Our MTSS department also comprised of our RTI, which is our response to intervention for those scholars that may need a little more assistance and specialized instructions in closing those gaps. MTSS also comprised of assessments, and we have a huge umbrella. We can offer support with parent support. If you need any type of support with your scholars academic, that falls underneath us as well. So Ms. Bridget Davis is on a call, and she's our MTSS coordinator, as I stated earlier. So I'm gonna give her an opportunity to speak.
Greetings, Ivy family. It's a pleasure to be a part of the family and to speak with you tonight. As Mrs. Harris Harvey said, she kind of summed up what it is that we do, but and she even said our main purpose is to ensure that we can help to close any gaps that your children may have. And we want to do that as early as possible. So I will reemphasize the fact that if you are a new parent coming in and your child was receiving services previously at another school, if you would let admissions know, or you can reach out to Ms. Harris Harvey or myself. My email, I'll drop it in the chat as well, but it's bdavis@ivyprepacademy.org. And we want to make sure that we know that so that we can meet the needs of your child, our scholar, as soon as possible. And in doing that, our plan is to make sure that if we have students who've been in a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, well, a tier 2 or tier 3 receiving additional services, our goal is to close the gap and have them to move down to tier 1, which encompasses all of our students. That's where everyone receives their general education services. So know that we're here to help you and to support you as we support your scholars in accomplishing the goals that are set forth for them to be scholars forever. So we want to thank you. And if you need us, just reach out to us. We're here for you.
Awesome. So again, we're here to support. We're here to support our parents. We're here to support our scholars. And we're also here to support the teachers and administrators in the building. So the Scholar Services Department is a very large department. We just want you to know we are here. My contact information is in the chat. I'm also available in the Q&A chat. So we'll be here. We're sticking around. Ms. Davis, I believe the next one is you as well.
So I'm back. I also serve as the assessment coordinator this year. And just to give you a little information on the assessments that will take place throughout this year, iReady, which has already been kind of mentioned, which is the diagnostic, will be provided through for K through 8 students. And it's given 3 times a year. And it also encompasses like a 30-day diagnostic growth assessment as well. So students will utilize that. There will be benchmarks, which are, they are created through USA Test Prep. And then that would be for K through 8 as well. And then SLOES is strictly for connections teachers. That's their way to kind of evaluate students. Not all students are presented with that assessment in all grades. So they have various grades that they will present those assessments through. As Ms. Terrell said, Access is the assessment that we use for our ESOL to screen to see if they need to receive services. GKIDS is the state mandated assessment for our kindergartners only. And at the beginning of the first 6 weeks, the teachers will do what's called a GKIDS kindergarten readiness assessment on your children. And that just gives an idea of if they came into kindergarten ready to learn, and or if there's some gaps there that we need to address as well. Ms. DeArmond and Ms. Harris Harvey also referenced the gifted. So and there will be testing there. Again, that is based on the diagnostic from the iReady assessment, excuse me, from the iReady assessment, students who are identified as possibly being needing to further assessment, I would say, for gifted, because there are quite a few assessments that go into gifted testing. It's not based on one assessment or one area. And I'll let Ms. DeArmond speak to that in a few minutes as soon as I finish, if she would like as well. And then there's the Georgia Milestones, which is for our 3 through 8 students. And that, of course, you know, is given at the end of the year. And then tentatively, we will be doing the PSAT this year as well. And further information, as well as a testing calendar, you can look for that to be coming forward within the next week. Thank you. Ms. DeArmond, did you want to say anything else about the gifted testing?
Sure. Yeah, so like with all other student services, gifted students have to be tested to show that they have a need for a particular service. And we test in mental ability, achievement, motivation, and creativity. And all of our tests are nationally normed. So if you've ever seen something like a percentile rank on like a Georgia Milestones test or on the iReady diagnostic, it will also show a parent report of a percentile rank as well. That's really what the gifted tests will determine. And so students have to have like a certain percentile score on all 4 of those tests in order to qualify to receive services for gifted learning.
Thank you, Ms. DeArmond. Our amazing school counselor, Ms. Harris.
Good evening, Ivy family. I hope all of you had the best summer. I see a lot of names that I recognize and a lot of new names, and I'm so excited to start the school year with you guys soon. We have a lot of fun things planned in the counseling department. So I'll kind of just give a brief overview of what I do at Ivy as the school counselor. I focus on these 3 main topics: social emotional learning, of course, academic, and then career and college readiness. So everything that I'm doing with your girls is going to be focused on one of those. Sister Circle, we love Sister Circle at Ivy. It's the beginning of every day, 15 minutes. The scholars will meet with their homeroom teacher, and it really just helps our girls kind of start the day off on that right foot, you know, and that's when when our classroom teachers give the social emotional learning curriculum. So SEL is happening all over the building. It's not just happening when they see me once every few weeks. You know, our teachers are implementing it, our admin, myself. So we're really taking it by storm this year. But Sister Circle, it's a great way for scholars to bond with not only each other, but their teachers too. And so we're very excited about that. Your girls will see me in a variety of different ways. I'm kind of all over the school, but they'll see me in core curriculum lessons, which years ago that used to be called guidance lessons, but now they've kind of changed up the terminology. But I'll be going in to each grade level, K through 8, to kind of do those SEL focused lessons, bullying, conflict resolution, emotional regulation, how to set goals, kind of a variety of topics that are tailored to our girls' needs. And I'll do that monthly. And then we do small groups where it's kind of a little bit, more of an intimate setting. And we meet for a few weeks at a time. And then I meet with your scholars individually. So if you have a certain concern for your daughter and you would like me to kind of talk to her or kind of see what's going on, I have a bunch of games, activities, to just kind of be that support for your scholar and you. I love to work with parents. I always say, your child the best. So I'm always on the phone with parents, just, trying to work and do what's best for your daughter. And also middle school parents, I really meet with you guys a lot when it comes to transitioning into high school, because as y'all know, Ivy doesn't have a high school that our girls just filter into. Our girls kind of go all over. So I am the liaison to kind of help you through that process, because especially if it's your first, it can be kind of overwhelming, the deadlines, the applications, school choice, all that stuff. So we'll have a few events for me to kind of walk you through that. And we can also set up individual conferences as well with you and your scholar. So I'm here to help prepare for high school, because then the next step is college, and I'm all about getting our girls ready for college. You can always give me a call or email me. I think Doc just put that in the chat. Like I said, I love, talking with y'all because I'm here to not only support your daughter, but also you. So I can't wait to see y'all at the family reunion. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. And parents, we wanted to share with you some of our clubs and activities. We do have an art club, which is sponsored by Ms. Campbell, a Spanish club, which is sponsored by Senora Jordan. Our Thespian Society for our aspiring actresses is Ms. Williams. We will also have a dance troupe, which will be sponsored by Ms. Mills. We also have Girl Scouts. We have a book club that will be sponsored by Ms. Moore. We also have 100 Girls of Code, which will be sponsored by Ms. Jones. Girls on the Run, which is new this year, Ms. Martin will sponsor that, as well as our Beta Club, which is an actual invitation for scholars that have an AB average. And our Student Government Association will be sponsored by Ms. Ross. This year, we have added a few sports with our athletics. Ms. Martin is our athletic director. We will have cheerleading. It will not be competition cheerleading. We will have a competitive basketball team, as well as track and field and tennis. We will also offer golf. However, we will not have a competitive golf team this year. If we do, it will only be for a few matches, and that will be a little bit later in the school year. And our dance troupe. Mr. Bolton, COVID protocols.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Derek Bolton. I proudly serve as the Director of Operations for Ivy. Obviously, it's all over the news and all over the world, kind of COVID seeming to rear its ugly head again. And so we want to take every precaution to make sure that all of our scholars and staff are safe throughout the day. So we will need kind of everyone's participation in this effort, kind of monitoring themselves and their scholars for symptoms at home, making sure that they're not sneezing, coughing, having high temperatures and such. So all the staff and faculty temperatures are taken upon entering the building. They'll complete a health survey with questionnaires, making sure that they are safe in that way. Scholar temperatures, again, taken before they enter the building, and we'll need our parents' help with this. 100 degrees is the magic number. Anything higher than that, we won't allow those folks into the building. We will try to kind of separate our scholars to keep from too much crossing. So some of our small scholars will come in a certain door and our larger scholars will come in a different door. We have all of our classroom desks spaced at 3 feet apart when possible. And we have sneeze guards attached to all of the desks, the scholars' desk, the teachers' desk, the front office desk, the security guard desk. Everyone's kind of got a safeguard with the sneeze guard. We have a new custodial service and a new sanitation service that basically come and take care of our building. We use hospital grade sanitizers to clean throughout the day. And then the sanitized company comes in frequently and takes care of the whole entire building, each bathroom, each classroom, the hallways, and each office. We've equipped and upgraded our building to, again, kind of try to limit as much crossing as possible. So we've got touch-free faucets and water bottle filling stations that retrofitted our water fountains. So we want to encourage all of our families to get water bottles for their girls so they can stay hydrated through the day in a safe way. We also have PPE kits, personal protective equipment kits for all of our staff. All of our teachers have these in their rooms: wipes, sanitizer, hand soap, extra face mask, disinfectant. And what we think is a real game changer is the electrostatic sprayers. The electrostatic sprayers basically sanitize equipment, hard surfaces in an efficient way and in a quick way. So it allows teachers to kind of address anything that seems a little scary, a sneeze, a cough that kind of slips through. They're kind of able to address that in a quick way, not necessarily have to wait for the custodial service to come through. And so all of these measures are kind of taking place at the same time, policy and engineering wise, to keep everybody safe. One thing that is very, very exciting for this year, for this entire school year, is that we will be participating in the seamless summer option. The seamless summer option provides us with a few benefits. For one of the kind of school and registration requirements of filling out a free and reduced lunch application is not something that we have to do for this program. It allows all of the scholars to eat for free breakfast and lunch. To keep everybody safe, we'll feed the scholars in their classrooms. So as they come in into the building each morning, they'll grab a grab and go breakfast, head to the classroom, eat there, kind of clean up, get ready for the class day. And then at lunchtime, during that scheduled time, lunch will be delivered to their classroom where they can enjoy an additional and kind of expanded range of meals and menu options for this year right in the classroom. We have made a lot of adjustments and arrangements. Obviously, everyone had become much more technically savvy over this past year, doing things online, Zoom meetings kind of like this, buying stuff online. And so we have kind of started to move away from so much paper assignments and using more digital curriculum just to keep the porous paper from crossing too much. We have achieved a 1-to-1 ratio. So one device for each scholar. So we have brand new Chromebooks that the scholars can use in the classroom while they're on campus. With that increased kind of dependency and use of technology, we have a couple of things in guard to kind of safeguard our scholars, their activities, and a few things that tools that will help the teacher kind of monitor and keep them on task. There's a software that we've had specifically built for Ivy through Aristotle K-12. It helps the teachers kind of monitor the internet activities of the scholars. They can monitor their screens. They can lock out certain sites that the scholars may be distracted with while they're doing their work online. And then we have a firewall that blocks any kind of inappropriate internet searches. So there are certain topics and subjects that won't be allowed to even pop up while they're on campus.
Nursery.
Good afternoon, parents. I am Nurse Cherie. I am the nurse here at Ivy Preparatory, and I've been a nurse. This is going on my second year.
And I am glad to have everybody back in the building. And I know my job this year is to keep everybody safe, and that is my main goal. So every day, the temperatures will be checked between the staff and the scholars. It is required before entering into the building. We have a new app this year. It's called Parent Square, which we'll be using for the scholars. So parents, once we get everything up and running, we will send you a link to download the app, and that scholar's temperature have to be taken before coming to school and getting into the carpool lane. And once you get into the carpool lane, you will have to show us, like on your phone, like it says clear to go. It should be like a go sign, like a green go sign, and we will look at the date. So that will be for every scholar. So I'm asking, I hope everybody have a thermometer at the house. Some people did put in for a thermometer. I still have those. Masks are a part of the dress code every day. So scholars cannot wear face shields. They can only wear masks, and the mask has to be over their nose and their mouth. So I know I saw a question in the question and answer about students at another school testing positive for COVID. And that's one of the things that this year, if a student or a staff member tests positive for COVID, we would do called contact tracing, which with contact tracing is basically we'll try to figure out who all was affected, who all came in contact with the staff or scholar within 3 feet for at least 15 minutes, according to the CDC. Each scholar will be assigned a seat. So every day that student will be signed in that same seat, and also they will be signed to the same laptop. Next slide, please. So for medications is something I will do differently this year. I will retrieve the child out of the classroom because we're trying to limit down a lot of the scholars walking through the hallway unsupervised. So if they do have any type of prescription medication or over the counter like Tylenol, I know some of the girls during their monthly, they will like Tylenol. So if you have a doctor's note, which I have that online, they can have it at the school and I will administer it to them. Or if they have any type of prescription medication, they will have to have a medical form filled out by their physician and turned into me. I did send an email out on some medication drop-off days. It only can be dropped off by an adult that's listed on their clinic card. So we can't have their 12-year-old sister bringing it in. So it has to be by an adult that's listed on the clinic card. So the medication drop-off dates, as you can see, is July 26th through the 30th. And August 2nd through the 7th is the appointment times only. So those other days, the 26th through the 30th, is from 8:30 to 2 p.m. Next slide. Also, I would like to talk about the newly admitted scholars and kindergarten and 7th grade. Newly admitted scholars, you have 30 days from the first day of school, which the first day of school is August 9th. So your immunization records will have to be turned in by September 9th if you did not turn them in. Also, kindergarten and rising seventh graders, you have until September 8th to turn in your immunization. 7th graders, you will need 2 new shots. And I know some of the 7th graders with late birthdays, the doctors won't give them that vaccine, but it's okay. I actually know who those scholars are. In kindergartens, all of them have to be 30 days within, which is by September 8th, or after that date, they will be withdrawn from school because it's something that we just have to keep the school safe because we get audited every year and we can't have any scholars in the school without being immunized. And if they have any questions, you can reach me at nurse@ivyprepacademy.org. Just make sure you include the scholar's name, the first initial or the last name, and their grade level.
Thank you, Nurse Cherie.
Thank you.
Ms. Griffith, will you be reviewing registration?
And hi everyone. So we are still waiting on documents. So parents, if you have not turned in all of your documents, please make sure that you turn in all of your documents as soon as possible. Registration and re-enrollment is done through School Mint, which is a new platform. If you have issues getting into School Mint, please make sure that you reach out to our enrollments office at enroll@ivyprepacademy.org. And just on an update, parents, if you cannot access Infinite Campus and you've been trying to get into Infinite Campus, it is because you have not turned in all of your documents. So if you are trying to get some things done before school starts, pay for lockers, pay for before care, turn in your documents for us, please.
Ms. Hassan?
Good evening, Ivy families. I'm going to cover the parent and family engagement piece. So I'll start off with the parent-family engagement policy. It is to provide families opportunities to engage and support scholar learning. So this will pretty much allow parents to help out during some of the planning stages, as well as participate in the activities itself. The parent compact, I'll actually go over some of the activities that will be available throughout the year. The family compact, one second here. The parent compact is basically an agreement that explains how parents, scholars, and staff will work together to achieve scholar success. This is a document that will be available on the website as well as electronically. So it is a form that parents will need to sign and submit back to the school. We do want to stress the importance of family engagement, simply because we know that the more parents are actively involved in their scholar's education, then the more likely the scholar is to succeed. So we do want the common goal to be improving scholar achievement. Some of the volunteer opportunities that I spoke about, and this is just a few, there'll be more throughout the year, but we do have classroom prep coming up. So the teachers do need assistance with getting their classrooms together for the school year. We need volunteers for our upcoming family reunion. We're also planning to have a uniform swap during the family reunion, so we can use some assistance with that. Trunk or treat is supposed to happen in October. We have a co-carpool and conversation that will come up this year that will happen periodically, as well as our math and literacy nights. So those are just some of the events that will happen this year. Also, keep in mind that once school begins, you will need to secure a background check and also complete the webinar in order to volunteer. So you don't have to do it for the events that will happen before August 2nd, but as of August 2nd, you will have to have a background check in order to volunteer. Also, you want to make yourself familiar with the parent portal. So the parent portal has all kinds of great information on there, tons of links that you can click on, whether it's a form that you may need, a who to contact list. So you want to go on there. If you go to the school's homepage, you will click on Campus Life. And then from there, you will click on Parent Portal and you'll see all the information, hopefully all the information that you're looking for. In terms of parent communication, we're really looking to up our presence on Instagram. So you can be sure to follow the school on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you look out for the Ivy Vines as well, Rock with Doc. So there's tons of ways to stay in the know and stay connected.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Communications?
All right, I'm back. So Ms. Hassan did discuss a little bit about some communication aspects for Ivy this year. Much of it has not changed. We are going to continue to update our school website regularly. That should be your first place. If you have a question about something, if you have a form that you're trying to locate, go to the school's website. We will also be implementing Parent Square, as Nurse Cherie spoke earlier about. You will get more information about that. Please continue to check your email so that you have the information on how to download the app and how to access, and definitely how to complete the screening as well as the temperature checks. Infinite Campus, parents, if you did not register for Infinite Campus, please do so. New parents, just continue to look out for a notification on when you can access Infinite Campus. Our returning parents, you know this is the platform for where you can access attendance, grades, and everything else. Next slide, Doc. So if you are not familiar with our school website, as Ms. Hassan mentioned earlier, the place to get familiar with is our parent portal page on our school website, which is located under Campus Life. Parent resources are located there for each department, the counseling department, the clinic, the cafeteria, communications, everything is there that you need. Also, we have links on how to activate your Infinite Campus and how to find the information that you need while going through Infinite Campus. Next slide. This is what you need to look for Parent Square. This is the COVID-19 health screening form. As Nurse Cherie mentioned earlier, once you complete your screening with the specific questions, it will tell you whether or not you are good to go to bring your baby to school or if you need to keep your child home. It is a one-stop shop. You will no longer need Dojo, email links, and Remind 101. We will be using this app for everything. Teachers will be able to communicate with you through Parent Square as well. I sometimes think of it as a Facebook wall. If you're familiar with Facebook, you can go through and look at old posts. If you need to, it will all be in one area. Next slide. So as I mentioned before, Infinite Campus is the place where you can find your scholars' grades, their attendance, update your parent contact information, and if your scholar had any behavior issues while they were at school, you'll get notified through there. Infinite Campus also provides you with notifications. You can be notified if your scholar was marked absent. You can be notified if your scholar has a low grade, or you can be notified if your scholar has a high grade. If grades are implemented, you can get a notification either on your phone or through your email. There is an app for Infinite Campus. We do advise that you download the app through our school's website because it is specific for our district.
All right, that's me. Just a few more things. We've got some very interesting questions in our chat, and we are answering them as best that we can. If you have some questions that are even more pressing, please feel free to email me or any of our panelists. We will definitely be able to assist you with any of those questions. Please note that, this is new to us. We performed very well and prepared very well for our students during the regular school year when we were hybrid, as well as our being virtual the whole year. Bringing our scholars into the building is going to require us to pivot quite a bit. And we are learning just as you are. As you know, our CDC guidelines change daily. There was just new guidance just yesterday around quarantining. So I highly encourage you to definitely check the CDC's website to receive information around the new guidelines that they provided to schools. Our attendance, we expect our scholars to be in school daily. What we are doing, if you have an early dismissal We will provide you with a link that will actually be housed on our website as well as emailed to you if you need to actually check a scholar out. You'll have to do that virtually. It'll be done online. Once we get that approved, we will have someone actually walk the scholar out to the car. So you won't have to come into the building to check them out. Also, for scholars that are tardy to school, we ask that you wait in your car for us to check their temperature so that they will be screened and will follow those COVID questionnaire questions that we have. So we ask that you don't just send your scholar or drop them off. They must stay in the car before they are able to exit the car if they are late. We are also asking that our scholars wear masks instead of face shields. The CDC is also recommending that we wear masks so that it covers your nose and your mouth. The face shield still gives you space on the sides. So we are asking that all of our scholars and our staff wear a mask instead of a face shield. We are also hosting parent conferences for now virtually. It will be done via Zoom. And again, we are trying to make sure that we are checking all of our scholars and all of our staff to ensure that they are safe and ensuring that they're safe. So having people in and out the building is just not an option for us at this time. If you would like to visit the school, we'll have an opportunity for that where you can sign up by appointment only, so that you can come into the building to if you have someone that you'd like to see, but that will need to be done at least 24 hours in advance, and you'll receive confirmation of that. Field trips right now are on hold. We will be able to offer field trips eventually, but again, we are continuing to maintain our environment and ensuring that it is safe. If we do offer field trips, we'll be sure that our scholars are spaced out. Before care is available, information was sent out to our parents. Before care is actually a paid option. You must pay for that, and you'll pay through Infinite Campus. We won't be handling any cash with before care. And the big question of the day is aftercare. So we actually have a partnership with the YMCA and After School All Stars. The YMCA only offered a limited number of slots for right now. By the end of August, we'll have more slots available. I will say this, that the YMCA will have a sliding scale, and if you have caps, it's important that you put that information in for the YMCA. It will not be free, the YMCA. So I want to make sure that we all know that, but it is free right now. And once we get all of the information from them, that will change over to a paid after school program. After School All Stars will be available for all grade levels, and it is a free program. We will only allow 250 persons to sign up for that. Mr. Watson, who works for After School All Stars, has communicated that the program will not start until August 30th. I have been in contact with the After School All Stars, and we are keeping our fingers crossed that it will start on August 16th. I will keep you apprised of that information. If you have been at Ivy for a while, you know that our after school program that we had before 21st Century did not start until the third week of school. So this is not an anomaly for us. This is something that has always been in place. It's just that After School All Stars is starting a little bit later. And the challenge is coming in why it's starting later because of funding. Because we are offering it to 250 students as opposed to just middle school as we did before. So more information will be coming for that. We are not offering transportation at this moment. And I want to make sure I say at this moment, because we are awaiting some other funding that we can possibly offer transportation, but that transportation will be linked to our growth time. If you remember, we talked about growth time in a previous email where we were asking if you'd like to have your scholar involved in interventions 30 minutes before the school day started or after. We will provide transportation for those students that would like that option. So we're waiting on the funding for that. So it is not in place right now, but we are keeping our fingers crossed that we will be able to offer that as an option for our parents. And we're banking on 3 spots or pickup and drop off spots, 1 in Atlanta and 2 in the DeKalb area. But that will be associated with those scholars that are actually participating in that growth time. So it'll be very imperative. If you are interested in that, you'll need to sign up for that once that information comes out. I see that hands are raised. Please place your questions in the Q&A box. That will actually help us so that those persons that are responding will be able to respond to you. I'm actually going to read some of those. When someone asks, I will need the after school all-star care since YMCA says that it is only up to 5th grade and 6th grade this year. If that was on the flyer, I will follow up with you, Ms. Brewer. Please email me because I was told that it was for the entire school. Okay, so please make sure that you get that email me so that I can follow up for you. Another question, so do we sign up through the link on the site or through the YMCA link we were emailed yesterday? The YMCA, you'll sign up through the link that was emailed yesterday. Ms. Smith, you stated you missed the before and after care. I'm not sure what your question is, but you haven't missed it. You get an opportunity to still do before care. And then an anonymous attendee said, my scholar just turned 12, June 27th, and I'm getting her vaccinated for COVID this weekend. I know that with the COVID vaccines, you have to wait 6 weeks before they can get any other vaccine. I'm asking if I should get the COVID vaccine first or the one she needs for school. That is totally up to you, ma'am or sir. We won't be offering, any suggestions. We're not medical professionals. I think that you should advise or either speak with your doctor around those.
And I just have to add something, Dr. Knuckles. Also, if your scholar is new, kindergarten or 7th grade, they have to have a required immunizations or they will be withdrawn by September 8th. So I'm not sure which immunizations you're talking about, but if you want to send me an email, you can, and I will work it out with you.
Okay. Please make sure that you place your questions in the question and answer. We're not checking the chat. Anonymous attendees, what alternative is in place in case a parent needs to monitor a child in class? They need to monitor a child in class. So if you'd like to come and sit in on a class, you can definitely sign up for an appointment for that. And you will be able to receive information regarding that from your academy leader. Right now, we're not doing any classroom observations in a single mode. So if that arises, I definitely will tell you, you want to make sure that you're speaking to your academy leader. If you are locked out, I think someone did respond to you, and hopefully that is it. Okay. So someone also asked, I tried to register today for the YMCA and couldn't get beyond the aftercare selection. Miss Ivy, it might be full. I know that they only had limited seating for now. Our school days recorded. We are not doing this anonymous teaching at this time. So that would be the only time it would be recorded. And is the school day is from 8 to 3 o'clock. 8 to 3 o'clock. Where do you get background checks? You can go to any police department and let them know that you need a background check to volunteer. So you can go there. And can after school scholars participate in the 30-minute intervention? So we will talk about growth time once we're able to offer that. So we've already spoken with our after school program around that. We don't want to shut anyone out if they would like to participate in that growth time. but it will not start right now. Again, we're waiting on funding for that. All right. So any questions? Any more questions? If you have any, please feel free to definitely email anyone on this panel that we can answer those questions for you. We are so excited to have the scholars back, and we're excited to actually have Ms. Hassan as a part of our Ivy family, working with our parents. Ms. Hassan has been a long-term parent with us. So please let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to email us. Email me if you have questions. And again, if you have questions around enrollment, please let us know. The earliest you'll be able to drop scholars off is at 7:30 without the before care. That is the earliest you'll be able to drop them off. And remember, we'll have to check temperatures as we are screening our scholars before they enter the building. We hope to see everyone at our family reunion on the 7th at 10 o'clock. We'll have a number of things that our scholars can do until it is time for them to come in and tour the building with you as well. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.